Hi, we are Group 1 doing our final project on Boeing for Global Strategic Management 7160 M51. The introduction and company overview were covered by Jalen. Competitors were covered by Samantha. Financial snapshot was covered by Lindsay. Risk factors was covered by Samantha. The outlook was covered by Mauricio. Challenges were covered by Nate. Environmental, social, governance efforts were covered by Mauricio. Trends in the industry covered by Lindsay. And conclusions and recommendations were covered by Nate.
Hi, my name is Jalen Lenore. Our team chose to analyze Boeing, a company that has dominated the aerospace industry for over a century, but is now facing a very public and urgent crisis. In early 2024, a door plunge on a Boeing 737 MAX 9 blew out mid-flight, exposing passengers to open air thousands of feet above the ground. While no one was seriously hurt, the symbolism of that failure, literally a door falling off of a jet, has become a powerful image of what's going wrong at Boeing. This isn't an isolated incident either. It reflects broader problems tied to Boeing's strategic direction, internal culture, and operational quality control. The crisis forces us to ask, how does a company known for their engineering excellence lose its grip on the very fundamentals of aircraft safety? In this presentation, our team will dig into the strategic missteps that contributed to this breakdown, exploring how technological complexity, leadership decisions, and cultural shifts played a role, and offer realistic, forward-looking recommendations that Boeing can implement to regain trust and competitiveness. This issue doesn't just affect Boeing, it has ripple effects across the global aviation industry, national security, and the stock market. So we believe is a powerful case for examining what happens when strategic decisions fall out of alignment with operational execution. To understand how Boeing got to this point, let's briefly step back and look at the company's foundation. Boeing was founded in 1916 and is now headquartered in Arlington, Virginia. It operates in over 65 countries and employs around 140,000 people worldwide. In 2023, the company brought in approximately $77.8 billion in revenue, making it one of the largest aerospace manufacturers in the world. Boeing has four main business segments: commercial airplanes, which include popular models like the 737, 777, and the 787 Dreamliner; defense, space, and security, which supplies the U.S. military and NASA; global services, providing aftermarket support like parts and maintenance; and Boeing Capital Corporation, which handles customer financing. Its reach is absolutely massive, with customers in more than 150 countries and contracts with major airlines and governments. Historically, Boeing was seen as an innovator, a leader in safety and aerospace technology. But today, it's facing mounting challenges that threaten that legacy. The 737 MAX disasters, ongoing manufacturing defects, and federal investigations have all brought Boeing's internal issues to the surface. In particular, critics have pointed at a cultural shift within the company, moving from an engineering first mindset to one that prioritizes cost cutting, speed, and shareholder value. As we move through this presentation, we'll explore how this cultural and strategic realignment has directly contributed to the current quality control breakdowns. More importantly, we'll discuss what Boeing must do structurally and strategically to reverse course and protect its future as a trusted aerospace leader.
Hi, I'm Samantha Brophy, and I'm going to talk about the competitors for Boeing. So as Jalen mentioned in the company overview section, Boeing is an American multinational corporation that designs, manufactures, and sells airplanes, rotorcraft, rockets, satellites, and telecommunications equipment. It operates mainly in three areas: commercial airplanes, defense and aerospace, and global services. With a legacy that dates back over 100 years, Boeing has long been a key player in shaping global aviation. When it comes to commercial aircrafts, Boeing's biggest and most direct competitor is Airbus. Airbus is a European company that matches Boeing nearly aircraft for aircraft in the global market. It's often a neck and neck race between the two when it comes to orders, deliveries, and innovation. There are also smaller but important players like Embraer from Brazil and Bombardier from Canada. These companies specialize in regional jets, which are smaller aircrafts used for shorter routes. Boeing competes with them in a narrow-body aircraft segment. Then there's Comac, a Chinese state-owned company. They've developed the C919 to directly compete with Boeing's 737 and Airbus's A320. And Mitsubishi Aircraft Corporation is also in the mix with their SpaceJet, targeting the regional market. Now moving to the defense and aerospace industry, Boeing is up against major U.S. and international contractors. These include Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon Technologies, and General Dynamics. All of these companies have major defense contracts and produce everything from fighter jets to advanced missile systems. Internationally, BAE Systems out of the UK is a strong defense and aerospace player, and companies like Safran and Rolls-Royce provide key aerospace components and engines, competing with or supplying Boeing depending on the contract. In the rapidly growing space sector, SpaceX has emerged as a major competitor to Boeing. SpaceX has revolutionized launch services with reusable rockets and continues to compete with Boeing in the satellite deployment, space transportation, and NASA contracts. Boeing Global Services is the part of the company that provides aftermarket support, things like maintenance, training, digital solutions, and spare parts, to both commercial and government customers. It's all about helping airlines and defense operators get the most out of their aircraft. In this area, Boeing competes with several strong players. Airbus Services is a direct rival, offering similar suite of support. Other major competitors include GE Aviation Services, Raytheon Technologies, specifically Collins Aerospace, Rolls-Royce, Safran, and Honeywell Aerospace. There are also large independent providers like Lufthansa Technik. Each of these companies offers some combination of maintenance, repair, training, and analytics, often forming long-term partnerships with airlines and military clients. So, in summary, Boeing is a global powerhouse, but it is constantly challenged by a diverse group of competitors across its commercial, defense, and space divisions. These rivals keep the industry innovative, fast-paced, and incredibly competitive.
This slide will look at the financial snapshot of Boeing. The table on this slide includes year-to-date figures from Boeing's income statements over the last 4 years. The table also includes a column for Q1 2025 quarter-to-date figures, as this is the most recent quarter reported at the time of this presentation. Annual revenue has been reported on average around $70 billion, which includes sales of products as well as sales from services. Boeing's commercial airplane segment is the largest generator of revenue for this company, followed closely by its defense, space, and security segment, and then global services. From 2021 to 2023, Boeing saw a steady growth in revenue year over year. However, the company incurred a dip in 2024 revenue, which was due to product revenue, as noted in the first line here on the slide. Sales of products had a decrease of $12 billion, or 16%, when comparing annual revenue in 2024 compared to 2023. As noted by Boeing's CFO in the Q4 earnings call, Boeing's Q4 revenue fell 31% year over year to $15.2 billion. This is primarily driven by lower commercial deliveries due to the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers strike, which halted production from September through November of 2024. Production for all programs resumed in December of 2024 and has gradually ramped up during the first quarter of 2025. This clearly shows that Q4 2024 revenue was an outlier and is not the norm for Boeing's financials. Boeing has since bounced back in Q1 2025, showing strong results for the first quarter. Company leadership, as well as market analysts, are confident that Boeing is back on track. But the company also notes that revenue will continue to be significantly impacted until deliveries ramp up, the global supply chain stabilizes,
Now that Lindsay has taken us through the financial snapshot, let's take a look at some of the major risk factors that Boeing faces. These are the kinds of challenges that can affect everything from their day-to-day operations to their long-term growth. First up is supply chain disruption. Like many manufacturers, Boeing depends on a global network of suppliers. Any delays or shortages, especially in critical parts, can slow down aircraft production and drive up costs. Next is regulatory and safety issues. Boeing operates under strict oversight from aviation authorities around the world. Incidents like the 737 MAX grounding show how safety concerns can seriously damage the company's reputation and finances. Then there's intense competition. Airbus is Boeing's main rival, but new players like Comac and China are quickly emerging. Competing on cost, innovation, and market access is an ongoing challenge. Another big one is program delays and cost overruns. Aircrafts like the 777X and space projects like the Starliner have faced delays which both hurt customer confidence and financial performance. Boeing is also highly dependent on government contracts, especially in the defense and space sectors. If political priorities shift or budgets are cut, it could hit a major portion of Boeing's revenue. On the global side, international trade and geopolitical risks are a factor. Trade tensions, tariffs, or sanctions, especially involving countries like China or Russia, can limit Boeing's access to key markets. Cybersecurity is another growing risk. Boeing handles highly sensitive data, and any breach could have serious consequences for national security and business continuity. Then we have environmental pressures. Airlines and regulators are pushing for cleaner, more fuel-efficient aircrafts. This means Boeing must invest heavily in innovation to stay ahead. And finally, there are labor and talent challenges. Boeing relies on thousands of skilled workers, many of whom are unionized. Strikes or staffing shortages could slow operations and development. So in short, Boeing's risks span everything from global politics and tech security to internal operations and environmental demands, each one with the potential to impact production, profits, or future competitiveness.
Today, I'll be highlighting key developments in Boeing operational, strategic, and cultural initiatives. First, on operational improvements, Boeing has prioritized safety and quality enhancements through specific actions. They're introducing cross-functional problem-solving teams and tightening workflow criteria to proactively address past performance and quality issues. Additionally, Boeing plans to significantly ramp up 737 MAX deliveries, targeting a production rate in the upper 30s per month, compared to just 17 last month. This increase is a crucial part of their plan to achieve positive cash flow in the second half of 2025. Next, regarding strategic contracts, Boeing recently secured a major $20 billion defense contract to develop new F-47 fighter jet. This is a notable achievement expected to strengthen their defensive business and help attract top engineer talent across the nation. Although there is some industry skepticism because of Boeing's limited recent experience with stealth technology, this contract marks an important strategic opportunity. Finally, focusing on cultural and structural reforms. Under CEO Kelly Oberg's leadership, Boeing is working to reduce internal bureaucracy and foster a true safety first culture. These efforts are crucial to address the company's past challenges and rebuilding trust with customers, regulators, and employees. Together, these operational, strategic, and cultural shifts shows Boeing's commitment to a stronger, more resilient future.
There are four challenges facing Boeing that we wanted to call out. Number one being manufacturing quality control lapses. Um, so this would be like recurring production defects and it undermining confidence in consumers. Supplier oversight issues, notably with Spirit Aerosystems. It exposed systematic flaws in quality assurance processes, and these issues delay aircraft deliveries and increase costs to rework and inspections. Number two being FAA investigations and public skepticism. Following the 737 MAX crashes, the FAA and international regulators have scrutinized Boeing's certification practices. Public trust in Boeing's safety culture has been shaken, with customer airlines voicing concerns. And investigations have revealed a pattern of minimizing regulatory engagement to speed up development cycles. Number three, obvious pressures from global competitors. Airbus, with its successful A320neo, has gained significant market share during Boeing's struggles. Boeing's need to match Airbus's innovations quickly led to rushed upgrades of the 737 MAX instead of investing in a new aircraft. And global airlines now perceive Airbus as a more reliable and innovative partner. And lastly, number four, cultural misalignment between engineering and leadership. The 1997 Boeing McDonnell Douglas merger shifted company culture from engineering focus to financially driven decision making. This shift undermined long-term product safety and innovation in favor of cost-cutting and shareholder returns. Internal conflicts and low morale among engineers have persisted, affecting collaboration and product integrity.
Now, let's move into Boeing environmental, social, and governance, or ESG initiatives. Starting with environmental efforts, Boeing is actively working to advance sustainability by accelerating the adoption of suitable aviation fuel, or SAF, to help reduce aviation industry's carbon footprint. Additionally, Boeing has committed to achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. This goal will be supported by initiatives aimed at reducing emissions and improving energy efficiency across all operations. Next, social efforts. Boeing is prioritizing diversity and inclusion across its workforce, with focused programs to increase gender, racial, and ethnic representation at all levels of the company. Beyond the workplace, Boeing invests in local communities through educational partnerships and workforce development programs, helping to expand access to opportunities and build future skills. Finally, governance efforts. Boeing is making progress towards a more diverse board of directors, ensuring better representation of gender and racial backgrounds, foster inclusive decision making. In parallel, Boeing is strengthening its commitment to ethical business practice by enhancing transparency, compliance, and risk management framework, reinforcing responsible governance. Altogether, these efforts reflect Boeing's broader commitment to environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and strong ethical leadership.
This next slide will highlight some of the trends in the industry that impact Boeing's operations. Boeing is navigating a critical moment in the aerospace and defense industry, with a number of key trends shaping its trajectory in the near term. First, we're seeing a strong rebound in global air travel, especially in the Asia-Pacific region and domestic U.S. markets. Although the economy might suggest otherwise, more people are beginning to prioritize travel as the benefits of vacation and leisure seem to outweigh the negative effects of inflation around the globe. Also, now that we are in the post-COVID era, airlines are racing to modernize and expand their fleets. This demand is driving a surge in orders for fuel-efficient aircraft like the 737 MAX and 787 Dreamliner. For Boeing, this represents a vital opportunity to recover market share, as well as ramp up production after years of market disruptions. Secondly, as geopolitical tensions continue to rise, many nations are boosting their defense budgets. This trend plays directly into Boeing's strengths in military aircraft, satellites, and secure systems. Increased government spending globally is opening doors for new contracts and strategic partnerships, particularly in NATO countries and U.S. allies in the Pacific. Lastly, on the technology front, Boeing is doubling down on autonomous systems and advanced manufacturing. The MQ-25 Stingray, an uncrewed aerial refueling drone, and the air-powered teaming system, which pairs AI-driven drones with piloted jets, are both pushing the boundaries of autonomous defense capabilities. At the same time, Boeing is transforming its factories with robotics, digital assembly lines, and additive manufacturing, or 3D printing. This allows for faster prototyping, lighter components, and significant cost and labor savings. For example, 3D printed parts are now used in the 787 and various satellite systems, contributing to both performance and sustainability goals. Together, these market and technology shifts are creating strong tailwinds for Boeing across commercial aviation, defense, and space.
So for the conclusion, we wanted to call out Boeing's path forward. So why does this matter? It highlights deep-rooted operational and strategic failures. It undermines public trust and regulatory confidence, and it threatens Boeing's long-term competitive advantage. So for the case focus, wanted to analyze Boeing's internal and external environment, examine strategic missteps and cultural issues, recommend clear actions to restore safety, trust, and performance. For the key challenges, like we covered before, manufacturing quality control lapses, FAA investigations, and public skepticism, pressures from global competitors, and cultural misalignment between engineering and leadership. The strategic response being operational improvements, cross-functional teams, and stricter workflows, strategic contracts, $20 billion defense contract for the F-47 fighter jet, cultural reforms, safety first culture, reduce bureaucracy under CEO Kelly Ortberg, and environmental and social efforts, SAF promotion, carbon neutrality by 2050, and diversity initiatives. Risks to monitor moving forward being supply chain disruptions, regulatory and safety challenges, global competition and program delays, and labor shortages and cybersecurity threats. Opportunities ahead for Boeing: airline recovery and increased demand, growth in defense and aerospace sectors, and investment in advanced technology and automation. Thank you.